A walk through the forest is full of many things, one of which, abundant, where you'll find water, is moss. Moss, these small flowerless plants, form green mats or clumps found in shady or damp locations. Often made up of leaves a single cell thick, these plants are commonly confused with lichens, hornworts, and liverworts. Typically bright green in color, but some species are a pale green, almost white, velvety black green, yellow, or bluish green. Sometimes thought as being parasitic, moss is in fact the exact opposite of that. Moss holds water and nutrients, which often benefits nearby plants. Planting moss within plants can often boost their health and growth. Moss, unlike most other plants, lack vascular tissue, the tissue that transports water nutrients through the plant. Because of this, moss lacks roots, stems, and flowers. Instead, moss uses rhizoids, structures that look similar to roots that attach themselves to the ground. These rhizoids, because they aren't roots, don't work the same way. They can attach themselves to almost anything, allowing moss to grow almost anywhere. Evolving from algae, mosses were the first plants to survive on solid ground. They produce energy in the form of photosynthesis. These plants are essential in damp and wet environments and absorb huge amounts of water, which prevents soil erosion. Creating peat bogs could be a major cornerstone in slowing or stopping Earth's rapidly changing climate, as these moss-filled bogs hold tremendous amounts of carbon dioxide. A new genetically modified type of moss, sphagnum, would have specific attributes allowing for a slower rate of decomposition of carbon-emitting peat, which would help in a major way with greenhouse gases. This moss that is currently in development is expected to take a decade to complete and won't be found in a pond near you anytime soon. Growing only in clean environments, moss is a simple indicator if an area is polluted or not. If it's hot outside, moss can almost completely stop its metabolism when no water is to be found. Moss uses the wind to reproduce. During their sporophyte life cycle, they can produce spores carried by the wind that will develop into both male and female organs, creating a new plant. These male and female cells merge within water, which is why they're always found near it. Moss can live a couple years up to 10 years old and can get as big as 20 inches tall. Moss was used as bandages during the First World War. Not only is it good for preventing blood loss, but soothing infection as they contain antibacterial properties. Before the technological improvements of the world, dried moss was used in heating in homes, where live moss at one point was used to insulate boots in cold climates. Containing a chemical compound which will warm the blood, certain animals like reindeer seek out and consume moss for this very reason. Let's see if we can find one here. No, really, this weird town I live in has deer all over it. One thing you might not expect is moss to be used as a diaper. Back before diapers filled up landfills, ancient peoples around the world would use moss to create diapers, which makes a lot of sense considering moss can absorb up to 20 times its weight in liquid. Used as a primitive form of diaper, Cree Indians stuffed bags with peat moss and used that as a homemade diaper, where Inuit filled moss inside sealskin covers, and the Chukchi people of eastern Russia would use moss-filled fur sacks for theirs. If diapers made from moss wasn't weird enough, today moss is being used as a new form of art. Guerrilla gardening or moss graffiti is essentially sustainable, non-destructive forms of street art with no damage or lasting effect to the structure. Art like this, that looks like a Banksy with live moss incorporated in it, or something more uplifting like this one. Moss street art is starting to become popular in different places of the world. Moss is incredibly popular in Japan. Left to grow freely as it is valued for its beauty, moss has been transformed into other things in Japan. Jewelry, moss tours, and moss-themed drinks are just the start of this craze. There are a few different types of moss that aren't actually moss at all. Irish moss and Spanish moss, while having the name, appears to look like a type of moss but are not. They've been used in interesting ways, such as Spanish moss as insulation or furniture stuffing, or Irish moss as a thickener. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of moss. Leave your suggestions what element of nature I should cover next. Much respect, my friends, and until next one, have a good one.